Hi guys. Oh my God, that ring light. I'm gonna have to be like this the whole time because it reflects right there, and it's annoying.
Oh, on your glasses.
Yeah.
That's okay.
All right, we're gonna wait a little bit so that way we get. You know what? I'm not gonna be bouncing the table. I have to be careful because the stand. We have the GoPro. Is that what that's called?
I just got the notification you're live.
So it's working. We got 4 people, so we're gonna wait a little bit, maybe like 5 minutes. See how many people we can get within a few minutes. Let the counter begin. So, anyways, Josh, tell me, what have you been doing?
I have been in Brazil for the last month and a half after Redlands, which was our last show. I think I had like a week, and so Raquel and I flew back to Brazil where she lives.
Raquel's his fiance.
And and so I've been making new content for my YouTube channel. We've been visiting greenhouses, all kinds of places, making new friends, and
Soon he'll speak fluent Portuguese.
I hope so.
Brazilian Portuguese.
Maybe. So
Yeah, he's always in Brazil now. He's
And so-
becoming a Brazilian.
I've been back almost 2 weeks now, and so I've
I'm
been
so jelly.
back to work, making pots, printing out new designs, repotting, lots of stuff.
What about the dendrobiums? Your collection? I haven't heard you talk about that in a while. They're
Oh,
doing
my
fine. They're
personal
hanging.
collection?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
They're hanging.
they don't skip a beat, man. They're growing, and a lot of them are getting big. My biggest one's like almost 12 foot tall now.
If we have time later, because it is so nasty out there. It's like being in a sauna. So that's why we're doing it in our home. This is an Orchid happy hour, talk show. So we figured, why not be by the bar? Sponsored by
Cheers.
Modelo. No, it's not. But I do love this beer. Hello, you two gurus from Australia. Hello, Australia, my friend from down under.
It's either really late or really early. It's really early.
Is it really early
Yeah.
where you're at in Australia? It must be early morning.
It's like early morning. Yeah. Like about 6 in the morning.
Because I know somebody sent me a message saying that when we come on, it'll be, hey, Terry. It's
Hey,
funny.
Terry.
I already know her little logo of the paws. When they told me that it was going to be like midnight, so it was still early enough for them to watch it. I was like, thank you for staying up till midnight
Very
to
cool.
watch us. All right, we got 25 people. I think we can start. What do you think?
Also, before we get started, go smash that like button,
Oh, yeah. I always forget to say that.
subscribe, and put on the notifications.
Thank you. Thank you for
From my
saying
brother.
that. I'm awful with that. I usually just put the little thing that says subscribe, but I'm like, in the beginning, I was kind of on top of that. Now I forget. I don't find it to be such a big deal for me to be saying it all the time. I think, they'll probably remember, but you're right.
Yeah.
Most people just scroll through and they forget. It happens to me. So thanks for saying that. So let's see. We have 30 people. It's Donna.
You're at work, and it's 8:80.
And you're in Aussie? So it's 8 in the
8 o'clock.
morning. 8 in the
8
morning.
o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Cool.
Netherlands. Wow,
Netherlands.
we have a lot of people. Welcome to a day with slightly cooler temperatures.
Not here in Homestead. Oh my
Not
gosh.
here, because Debbie's up there. You're in West Palm Beach, Debbie? I think that's where she's from. Debbie Siegel. We went shopping one time with Terry, Debbie. She came down I think it was her first time, and we went crazy shopping. We were filming all day. Hello from North Carolina.
Lake Worth.
Lake Worth. Man, I haven't been in Lake Worth in a long time. My friends used to live there.
Very cool.
Not to be mistaken with Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Because I used to say, yeah, I'm in Lake. Is that in Texas? It's like, no.
87. That's it.
That's not bad. No,
Oh my
here
gosh.
it's been in like in the hundreds.
You guys had a lot of rain. I think when I was driving down this morning, there was a lot of rain going through like central east coast of Florida.
All right, we got 32. So let's start. I'm going to let Josh start because we're talking about what we were going to bring to the table. No pun intended. No pun
Besides a
intended.
drink.
Besides the drinks, and we just started. And we thought that Right now, what people are having the most trouble with is all these pests and bugs because of the horrible season. Now I'm gonna take my glasses.
And fungus,
And fungus.
bacteria
So,
with
oh
all
my
the
God,
rain we've
yes.
had.
So we have so much rain, so the heat, especially, and all this wind, brings a lot of thrips. So I'm gonna let him talk a little bit about that, and I also want to let him. Actually, we'll do that last. We'll combine this
Yeah.
because it's more about. It's pretty much the same thing. And then what I wanted to tell you guys ties in with what he's going to be talking about. You know, like you talk about how many times to spray and all that kind of stuff. So once he's done with that, then it's kind of going to transition into what I have to say because this is the future and we're bringing it to you today live. So after that, then we're going to talk about like creative stuff and things that he's creating, plus tomorrow's show. So with that said, you're on.
Here we go. So the main thing I'm getting a lot of questions about is oh my gosh, how am I controlling? How do I control fungus, bacteria with all this rain we're getting, plus also the heat. Oh, plus all this heat, which can lead to if your plants are wet and your greenhouse or growing space is getting into the upper 90s to hundreds, then that water's starting to get really warm if you're not watering early enough and have enough airflow in your growing space. So main thing is use a systemic product for your fungicides, even for your insecticides. I always use systemic.
I like systemic too. Much better.
And that way it helps prevent problems. For your fungicides, you can use thiamine, you can use diethane. Some people use daconil, and of course you can always use banrot. I love banrot. The banrot is Orchid 3336. If you still use that, that's a pretty decent.
I find banrot makes your job easier because you don't have to like.
Yeah,
do
it's a
spraying
one.
so
It's a
much.
one and done, man. It's a one and done.
A lot of people have asked me how many times do you spray. To tell you the truth, I've been doing it monthly, and sometimes I've even skipped a month.
Yep.
Like now, I have to do it now because of all the rain. But I'm telling you, once it goes into the system of the plant, it's like it's worry free for at least a month. If you
Yeah.
have a very heavy rainy season. So that for me has been a really good, because somebody I think asked me yesterday, oh, you're not going to buy any more stuff from from Ophies, because I was talking about a new way, but I'm not against spraying at all. It's just I'm against irresponsible spraying. So not everybody is going to follow directions, and people are going to go out there and not do what they're supposed to do. So for me, I rather like lead the example and start learning how to use different things. But I think there's always going to be some chemical you're going to have to use, because it's just around here it's just really, really bad. The humidity is really strong. Rain is always here. So, and then we get the infestations of bugs from the Everglades down here. So sometimes, even the natural stuff doesn't work. So we have to resort to the strong stuff. So I always have it, like thiamine, I have a bag there. I hardly ever use it, but I have it there just to know that I have it. So when I have to switch from banrot to a different one, because that does happen. They get used to does that happen to you? Where you use the same fungicide and then the plants just kind of like get used to it?
No, I mainly spray my fungicides during the warmer months. So I'll stop spraying in the winter because it's colder and you're watering less. There's less humidity, and so then you're not going to run into as many issues.
Do you do it at night or at daytime? Because I know it's like a no-no to wet your orchids at night. But the reason I'm asking is because unfortunately I've learned that when you spray in the daytime, there's a lot of bees, a lot of pollinating bugs that are out there. So when you do it at night, most of them are fast asleep and they're not out pollinating, except for is it the male bumblebee? Yeah, the male bumblebee. Did you know it just literally just rests in the flowers? The female goes back. I know
It
it.
takes a nap. He's like,
It does. It's like, I'm done here. Got a drink? Cheers. But that's what they say, that's the one. And bumblebees are very, very, it's a very important bee to have. So when you spray at night, you could be killing the bumblebees too. We don't really have bumblebees here. That's more in colder, like up north Florida. I've seen beautiful bumblebees.
oh yeah, the big fat
The
ones.
big fat ones.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are gorgeous.
But usually they're like during the day, and I'm in an enclosed growing area. I have screen on the sides and the door, but So, but I do spray at night. And the reason I spray at night is because then it doesn't like evaporate automatically. And another, like the scientific reason, is because your plants have tiny microscopic stoma on the leaves, and that's what help it. They open at night, they
sucks
help
it in.
absorb it.
It's like a pore,
and
right?
the chemical, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's your answer for you guys that were asking, how to spray the fungus. Spraying at night obviously you're spraying an antifungal thing, a fungicide. So you could spray at night because it's not going to give it fungus, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say, well, won't it give it fungus? And I'm like, well, you are spraying it with antifungus.
Yep.
So it's not going to really.
And the main thing you want to do is you want to spray it on the leaves. And I
Right.
get a lot of questions. Do I spray it on the leaf
Yep.
tissue? Do I spray it on the roots? Do I get it in the pot? Spray it on the leaves until you just get until it runs off the leaf.
Right.
You don't have to douse it like you're watering it. You just have to mist it kind of heavily until the water droplets kind of form together and run off.
Yeah.
So, and then that helps you save more product. So then you're like, oh man, if I'm not watering it like I'm actually watering the whole plant for fertilizing, and I just have to mist it till runoff, I only have to use maybe like 2 gallons.
Exactly. Yeah, I stretch mine a lot. I do the 9-gallon sprayer, and that will last me pretty much almost all 3 greenhouses. Like I can do, and I wet them pretty well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd stretch it out a lot because Banrot, for you guys that haven't bought it, it's $100 a bag. It's not a cheap product.
No, but it does last you a long time.
But it lasts a long time because you're not using a lot.
It's a lot of product.
But a lot of people are like, oh, it's $100, and it's like, yeah, but you're not going to use it. Like in a month, it's going to be gone. You probably have a year, and you'll still have some. Will it hurt flowers or buds? No, not at all.
If you're using insecticide with it, that's what's going to harm your flowers.
You got to do it separate because that happened to me with my arachnids.
Well, and it really, realistically, if you're spraying anything on buds, it can
Spot it.
either spot it or blast,
Or blast the
blast
buds.
it.
Yeah.
So
I try not to hit the flowers when I'm doing fungicide. If it's buds, I don't mind. But if it's open flowers, I try to just go around it as, it's best I can. And I haven't had any tragedies, like casualties with flowers dying off. When my crestwood, a Grecum crestwood, it was in full bloom, and I mixed fungicide with pesticide. And the flowers got burnt. They got like little spots.
yeah.
Lauren, what happened? I hate when that happens.
Thumbs up.
Sorry, guys. It's very difficult to try to pull and I don't know, the camera's there, but for some reason it captures my seed. It finds my finger. There we go. Oh, Laura and Billy Funnel. Hi, Laura. Hi, Billy. Hello from Australia. I've been watching your videos for a while. I hate when that does. It ghosts out, right? Like you're reading and it just ghosts out. But anyway, back to the pesticides.
Yeah.
So, or fungicide. The fungicide that I've been using is that one. Now, some people had asked me if I would use like a organic type of fungicide. I don't know of any. Do you know of any? Isn't a regalia one? Is that a fungicide or is that a pesticide? It's a fungicide.
I believe it's all I use, and all I've ever used is either thiamyl or Banrot.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I've used Cleary's 3336 too, or 3336, which is a really good one. But I love Banrot because you can also use it to soak plants, because it.
Like when you first buy them.
I've read studies where if you use it as a soak on plants that have fusarium, it'll help it from not spreading from that point forward.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I've heard some people, they do like when they, what? This is bothering me. I got to pull this out a little bit more here. There. Oh, now you're going away. It's like a boat. It's just sailing. This is the first time we do it here, so we're
Hey, Carol.
Northern Kentucky. I love hearing where people are from. It gives me like a visual idea of my viewers. So anyways, the other thing I wanted to ask you is, when you do fungicide, do you, especially Banrot, do you do the 3 week, 1 month thing? Like if your initial first spray, do you do once a week for 3 weeks, and then after that once a month? Because that's how I was told to do.
No,
No.
it's now if you're doing that it makes sense to do that with an insecticide, because then you're like getting the different life cycles of the insects. Because remember, most insects have 3 stages. The pupa, the larva, and the adult stages. Don't anybody quote me on that. I'm not a person that studies insects.
He's not an insectologist.
Insectologist. Minnesota.
Minnesota. Why is it that when people say, I have friends from Minnesota, and when they ask them where you're from, she's Minnesota, they would always repeat with Minnesota. Don't you know?
Barcelona.
When I lived in Chicago and I came back here, people used to make fun of me. I never heard it, but they used to say, "Why do you say coffee?"
Cafe.
Coffee. Why do you say coffee?
That's funny. But yeah, no, I've never done that with fungus. I would say you could probably. It wouldn't hurt to do that.
Because that's the way Chris told me. He goes, do a stage of, if it's the first time you're doing it, and because it's a heavy season. He goes, in the heavy season, do 3 weeks, once a week. Mm-hmm. Let's say you do it on
once a week for
Sunday
3 weeks.
For 3 weeks, and then after that you wait a month, and then you do it only once a month.
Yeah.
And then after 6 months, you switch to 5 mil, so that way it doesn't get used to the same thing. It's like, shampoos do that. If you use the same shampoo over and over, in like 6 months, your hair is really not cleaning itself that well. So it's always good to this is my advice to you guys as a hairstylist and a guy in the industry: change your shampoos, or have multiple. Actually, it's best for your hair. But anyway, digressing. Insecticide.
Insecticides. Oh gosh, I mean, you can use so much stuff. There's stuff that I personally like Safari, because it hits a lot of stuff, and it's like the orthene that we all use. Mm-hmm. It's like the big brother of orthene.
Okay.
And
so that means it's highly toxic.
When I first started growing, I had a bad scale infestation. This was probably back in 2005, I believe. I was getting given a lot of plants, and I didn't know any better, and so I had a bad infestation of scale, and Safari was the only thing that blasted them out. And I had to do it once a week for 3 weeks, and then do the monthly. And so I've been a big advocate for Safari ever since then. But you can always... Orthene will work just the same. I've just had better results with Safari.
Yeah,
and it's worked for me.
I use Orthene combined with Permatrol and 7, and I tried it this year and it worked great. But man, they were relentless. It's like I was doing it every 3 to 4 days, because I would turn and it was full again. I go, what's happening? So then what I did was I separated all the ones that I kept on seeing, kind of put them all in one section so I could just kind of clean them out. And that's what you guys have to do. You have to go into your collection, and especially if you keep them outdoors, because indoors they can get spider mites. I've gotten spider mites indoors, and mealybugs. Yeah. But thrips, chances are you're probably never get thrips indoors. I've never had them indoors. So
no.
Hello from Illinois. Super hot here. Yeah, that's where I lived. I lived in Chicago, Illinois, and I don't remember it being hot ever. It was very cold, very windy, and then in the summer it was breezy. It was nice, but I don't remember hot. I was also a kid, so kids don't care about heat.
No.
Is systemic fungicide better than organic?
Systemic fungicide is going to help prevent issues, whereas in your organic is only topical. Right. So it's like I always explain it this way. It's like the difference between getting a flu shot to help prevent the flu, or treating the symptoms after you had the flu. So the systemic is going to be like a flu shot.
We'll get to that, because we're talking now pesticide, because we're asking about fertilizer, but we're not there yet. Mm-hmm. We'll get there. What were you saying? I'm sorry, because I was trying to read the comments there.
Thrips
Oh,
are
the
bad.
thrips.
Thrips were really bad this year.
Yeah, I'm still getting like, and you know what? Sometimes I notice because I was like, does this Vanda have like, I thought it had like a virus, but I was like, but Vandas normally don't. You know what it
Yeah,
was?
it
It's
was
that the thrips does not eat the whole bud. It doesn't kill it completely, so it does open,
Yeah.
but it opens gnarly.
Yeah, it
Like
looks like it has color break
it looks
almost.
like it has color break, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have that such. What do you call that? Saturations or those lines that look almost like tie dyed when it has
Yeah.
that virus.
Yeah.
So I was looking for that. I go, well, I don't see that, so it can't be. But then I noticed it on another Vanda that I know that Vanda's perfect, and I was like, it's the thrips.
Yep. Thrips were really bad this year. And, you know, especially during blooming season, which is typically spring.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting plants, and it was really bad. I was spraying almost every other week for thrips,
Wow.
even after using a systemic.
That's it. What I like about systemic, guys, is that it goes into. Think about it like, okay, when you get sick and you have a cold, you'll take Tylenol, you'll take Thermoflu and all that stuff. But if the cold turns into a flu, you got to get antibiotics. You have to go to the hospital. So now you have to take something that's stronger. So that's how I see systemic and then topical like organic. Like it's good to a certain point, but then you're gonna have to use something much stronger. If not, you can't beat nature. It's very.
Yeah.
I've tried. I've tried to. Okay, I have it all set up. It's impossible because some seasons it's a lot heavier than others, and this season
Yeah.
was super heavy. I was on top of my orchids because I have a big collection. So if that just spreads, it's
Yeah.
harder to control than when you have like 2 or 3. We're going to do a Q&A at the end so that way we don't go crazy. So if you guys want to kind of write your questions down, that way we can answer them at the end. Hi, Nelson. Hey, Newman. Newman's from Japan. He has, if you guys haven't seen his YouTube video, it's really cool. It's all on what he shows a lot. He has like a super green thumb. He lives in Japan, and his whole like decks and everything are like all cacti, succulents,
Very cool.
Hoyas, and he's into orchids now as well. He's been following me. I don't know if he's started orchids or it's something that he's kind of like just get curious about. But anyways, I've been looking at his videos and they're a lot of fun. I'm learning about cacti because I've been putting succulents in the front. So if you guys, his name, I can't remember.
I just got some light
the name of the
hops.
channel. Newman, send me the name of your channel, please, so I can give it out there so people can check it out. Bees are generally interested in collecting pollen from open. I hate when that thing goes out like that because then I can't read it. We have to go back. Thrips destroyed my beautiful Mimi Palmer. Oh, yes.
The good thing, though, is that they'll bloom again.
Yeah, right? It's not part wise. They're doing that now. This thing is so inconsistent. Look. It's in a specific spot. My life with plants. Okay, so if you guys want to check out Newman's YouTube video, it's called My Life with Plants. And it's
Very cool.
really, really cool.
Very cool.
So anyways,
Yeah, thrips are bad.
thrips are bad.
Were really bad this year. It's kind of hot.
For
I
me,
think things are down right now.
Millibugs and thrips. That's what I had the most of.
Yeah, and then now that we're getting so much rain, I mean, you live in a natural kind of area. Do you have problems with like slugs or snails?
No,
Okay.
thank God. That's one thing I don't have is those. They have those African snails that are invasive here now. Have you heard of that? They're like this big. They're crazy.
No.
I have not seen one, but they say they're around this area and they're very destructive.
Wow.
But some people, believe it or not, you know what they're doing with them? They're taking them in as pets. You got to go on YouTube and check this out. African snails. And there's people just like cradling them, and the snails, literally, it's like this big. It's something crazy.
With a shell?
With a shell. It's really cool. They came in,
I think
they came in through the, it's crazy. Talk about eating your plants, one gulp.
Yeah.
So anyways, we touch base on that. I'm gonna transition to this right now, and then we'll go into fertilizer because this fits more into what we're talking about.
Exactly. Let's segue.
So the big thing that I was talking about yesterday, I wanted to talk to you guys about. It's a company. I haven't spoken to them yet. Hi everyone. Hey Tampa peeps. Oh, it's green. I don't know. That disappeared. Sorry guys, I can't answer all the questions. It's just the thing goes up and then it goes out. So anyways, moving forward, Parabug is the name of the company. Now this company, is what they do is they produce beneficial bugs to release into your environment, so that way it could counteract those pesky bugs that are currently living in your property. Now, the way this guy, the guy's name is, the founder's name is Chandler Bennett, and he got tired of spraying. He lives in California, and he got tired of spraying. Like, they have acres and acres of crops, so it was costing them a lot of money, a lot of spraying out there, and then on top of that, it was tiring for them. So they decided to grow specific beneficials, like study and specific beneficial bugs like ladybugs, lacewings, Swarovski mites, which is what we're going to talk about, because me and Swarovski mites right now are best friends after I researched what it was. And what they do is they produce these in a lab in large proportions, all organically, nothing GMO or anything like that. And they produce billions and billions and billions. I mean, one bottle, let me see, it says 50,000 mites in one bottle that you buy.
Wow.
So what they did was they said, okay, now that we discovered that we can grow these mites that are completely safe for the environment, it has been tested time and time again. It does not destroy, overtake anything like that. It actually lives in good balance with the plants, any plants that you put out there, even more so than ladybugs, because people don't know this. Not all ladybugs are the same.
Yeah.
So people buy these ladybugs in the mail, and then they release it, and it might not be the strain that could live here, and either A, it's going to get eaten by something else, and not.
Yeah.
Is that my cat? Sorry, guys. I keep hearing a scratching. My cat is so spoiled. She needs to go outside. You know, it's happy hour in the terrace. So, I forgot where I was.
They might not survive here.
Right.
The strain of ladybugs.
The strain might not survive, or it might not be beneficial in your garden. So if you are going to buy ladybugs in particular, make sure you research and find out which is the type that lives in your zone, in your area, and then order those. The safest thing is if you know a nursery, local nursery that's selling them, then get it from there, because obviously they're going to get the proper. But the Swarovski mites, these things they gorge on thrips. That is like their delicacy. But I had written, because I started looking at other stuff, and I go, they have to like other stuff. And it says that not only thrips, it likes whiteflies and spider mites. When I saw that, I go, everything that I have here. So anyways, what they decided to do was to take these mites, and they put them in these long, they're like long tubes that kind of, when you open it this way, it has these little like vents, and it comes out. But guess what they use it for? They partnered with another company. I even wrote it down. I got really into this. Theravada.com, their drone service. So what they did, they said, okay, now we have the mites. How do we spread this? You know, when you're talking about like 5, 6, 10 acres,
You can't just go
like flour. And so they said the best way to do this is the way they travel, through the wind, through the air. So we got to get a drone overhead, and then they could even see from the drone hot spots of where they can see pests, and they could like really saturate that area with the mites.
Wow, that's very interesting.
And so now it's been working great for them. Now they start in California. They're also in Washington, Oregon, Arizona, Alabama, Australia. My people in Australia, you have this company over there, so you guys can use it. And Florida. I heard that they have a couple of more. Those are the only ones I found. But I was happy to see that we're one of the states that they actually do that. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm going to hire the drone, because I don't have acres. I could actually do it by hand. But this is for people who have a lot of acreage, or have like those big rose gardens, you know, that when they get thrifts, it's like deadly. So they can spray it over that. But what I really liked about this is that when the thrips falls and lays out, what it does is it could travel up to 15 feet per hour. So it can go pretty far for micro insect. So it could cover 15 feet within an hour. So once they spray all this stuff, imagine you get all these little mites down there. I keep saying thrips, little mites who are going to start reproducing. They come out of these containers and they're starving. So they go out in a vengeance. So they say within a week, you already see a huge difference.
Very cool.
They say, number one, you don't see them. They're very tiny, so it's not going to be something you're going to be seeing all over your yard. Number two, once all the thrips are gone, because this was one of my questions, well, when all the thrips are gone, what are they going to start eating? You know, like you got to think about that. So they said that after the thrips are gone, then they start going into these other bugs like spider mites and I think the other one was what
The white fly.
it was a two-spotted spider mite. That's what I read. I don't know
Gotcha.
if because I don't know the difference between one and the other. So, anyways, they were saying that they are doing now parasitic fungus. It's like a live fungus that eats bugs, bad bugs.
Huh.
So they're working with that too. So it's not just these mites that they're working with. They're like every day I think they're like studying all these other bugs. And so in the future, instead of being spraying and doing that, you're actually going to introduce a different type of bug that's actually the enemy to that one that's destroying your plants, and it's beneficial to your garden.
There you go.
So I don't see where this is.
Which is really smart. It's non-invasive to our health. You don't, it's easier. You don't have to gear up. You don't have to wear PPE.
And now I will say it is expensive. It's a little pricey, but I'd rather spend the money on something like that that's organic and it's going to be very safe for the environment. And for 50,000, it's 198 bucks. I don't have it because I haven't ordered it, but it's a bottle about this big. It's a lot. With
Do
one,
they have like lesser, or is that
I
their
think that is
smallest
the.
one?
I think that is because I was looking through it. I think that is their. Now they do have tea bags. If you don't want that big one, I'm gonna get the big one
Yeah.
because it's a lot
Yeah,
back
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But they do have these little like they almost look like tea bags, and then
Huh.
you could just hook it on to like let's say your potted plant, and then they just kind of come out and they go out
Cool.
and do their thing. So imagine if in 1 hour they do 15 feet, in 24 hours
Yeah,
they'll
man.
cover your whole area. So
Yeah.
for you guys to have a smaller,
Get a couple tea bags and put them at one end and the other. If you have like a 20-foot greenhouse, they'll just meet in the middle.
now here was my big question was actually like this. I did an exclamation point, and I'm only halfway. Cheers. So my question was, what about the people who live in apartments? What about the people who don't have a huge yard and keep these plants like in a terrace or something like that?
Yeah, balcony.
I wouldn't it wouldn't bother me to put up one of those little tea bags in my apartment and have them because they're not going to go anywhere but where your plant is because that's where they live. They don't live anywhere else but where the plant is. Now, the other question was how many people in apartments get thrips? Not many. Right? I've never gotten it, have you?
I mean, thrips are pretty tiny, so you even like they can still fit through the pool screen.
Yeah.
Through like the.
Oh, I
the
mean
fine
like
mesh.
indoors. Like when I lived in my
indoors.
apartment, I would have my orchids by the windows, like in my salon.
I've never heard anybody that grows indoors having issues with
I
it.
think that's the cleanest way of growing your orchids, with
Yeah.
grow lights indoors.
People, grow lights or, people that grow phalaenopsis inside or other genera undergrow lights and stuff. But no, I've never talked to anybody that has that issue.
I'm trying to see if there's any. See, they also come in tea bags. Because I was looking to see if they had a smaller, but then I saw that this company Parabug, they actually sell them online, and they also sell the service if you want them to come over. Swarovski Mite in apartment works great. Good. So somebody out there has already used it, and they said it works great. Yeah, because it's so tiny, guys. I can't show you examples because we're using my phone.
Yeah.
But they're like microscopic. They're these tiny little looking things. Hi, Nicole. Oh, they're having conversations.
Yeah.
I love when that happens. They're just hanging out. It's happy hour.
That's happy hour.
So that's what I wanted to bring to you guys because that's going to be my new endeavor. I think I'm going to start shying away from the heavy. Number one, it's my sinuses get crazy when I use it. So even when I use a mask and everything, it still does it. And I have pets and I grow organic fruits here everywhere.
Yep.
So I'm not against using the other sprays. It's just that my collection is so big that I have to and that's what I don't want to do.
Yep.
If you have one plant, a little terrace, fine, use it. Don't use them because somebody asked me, can I use orthene indoors? And I'm like, absolutely not, because those fumes just linger.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Guys, if you write a long question, we're definitely not going to read it because it doesn't, when it comes up, it doesn't give us enough time to read the whole thing. 2 lines or just split it, right?
Yeah.
Let me see, because when I try to do this, it works sometimes. So
And then press the blue arrow.
I like that. Who's this? Cassiopeia? Am I saying that right? I like that they used it and it said it worked great. Really enjoying your new Cattleya AM. That's the other. Predatory plants? Any predatory plants?
Um, no, because then that's just something else that I'm not familiar with that I
Yeah,
have to keep
new.
alive
Do they mean like
with
a,
like thousands of orchids.
yeah, but what do they mean by predatory plants? Like
Like
Venus
Venus
fly?
flytraps
I
or
love I love the Nepenses. I have several back there. Those are my favorite.
Sarcochilas or anything like that.
Sundews.
But I
For,
mean, those really aren't gonna eat,
no, that's
like
not gonna.
minute like
That's just gonna
thrips
control your
and
mosquitoes.
scales. It's scale is basically once it finds like an orchid or a plant, it stays there and
Yeah.
multiplies.
That's the
So
one
it's
that
not
digs.
like
I always confuse them. That's the one that gets into the sheath that's on the cane. They get in there and then you don't see them. So what I do is I take those sheath out.
yeah,
I
oh
clean them
yeah.
out because it's the only way to control it. If not, they stick in there and then you don't see them.
After it's dried and browned, yes, definitely.
Right. Not when it's
Don't
green.
don't do the green one.
That's good that you mentioned that. It's when it's dry. Now, I think that's pretty much what I had to say about that because I am just starting to do all the research. I'm going to call them. I'm going to introduce myself, tell them what I'm doing, and see what kind of advice they can give me as far as how I'm going to, I was going to say spray, how I'm going to spread the Swarovski mites. Because once I read about all this, I'm like, I'm surprised none of my viewers, none of the places that we go talks about this. I don't think it's something that's caught on yet.
I'm gonna call them Swarovski.
I know that's what I was calling them in the beginning. I kept on saying Swarovski mites, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. Wait a minute, is it Swarovski mite? They're very expensive. That's why they're $200.
And,
They
and the
glisten,
light.
and at nighttime it glitters in your garden. So, anyways, that's all I have to say about pesticides. The future of killing these pesky bugs without causing any problems with your garden. And I love that these people are environmentalists. So they're so hardcore on studying, making sure that they do the right thing. So it's not like it's just some Joe Schmo trying to make money on a new novelty thing. This is like super high tech. I was like, they've gone far and beyond before putting this out, and I'm very impressed.
Yeah, and it's using science and bugs really to do our dirty work for us.
Like somebody said, does it have anything to do with, what did they say? Spraying or something like that. And I was thinking, there's no way in the world that I think anybody, I should have done like one of those contests. If anybody can guess, you'll get a free something. Because I was thinking, what can I say to kind of give clues to see what people think? But no, some people thought it was like, do you mix it in water? That's what they said. Do you mix it in water? Is it something you mix in water? But no, I said, you don't use water. You don't use sprayers. Unless you use, and that's not even a sprayer, that's a releaser. That's what
Yeah.
they call it. And pretty much it just works itself into it. You don't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
That's the best part. Now, fertilizer.
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 Every time I talk about fertilizer, I always tell everybody, if you are fertilizing, you are still doing better than half of the people out there. Because half the people aren't even fertilizing their plants or their orchids specifically. But I personally use Peter's Excel 15-5-15, and it also has calcium, magnesium in there. I use it once a week. It comes out to about 1 teaspoon per gallon, and I use it for 3 weeks, and then usually during blooming season, I'll add in my 4th watering of Bloom Booster instead of the actual.
Oh, so you do you do the bloom booster? I used
do
to
a
do
bloom
it, and then I
booster.
kind of stopped. Maybe I should
Yeah.
go back to it. I like bloom booster. Yeah, I do the 20-20-20 Cal Mag. Now I'm doing seaweed,
Yep.
the seaweed juice
I use seaweed every other week
every other week.
as a supplement. I don't add it into my fertilizer because
Really? Why?
I just think it absorbs better when you do it standalone.
Okay.
Because if you take all these chemicals and throw it at a sponge, there's only so much the sponge can soak up at a time. So if you spread
It gets
certain
the
things
full
out,
of it.
yeah,
The
you get the
full-
full effect.
Okay.
And the roots will absorb it
I was trying
a
to-
little bit better.
Time crunch by putting it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mix that, and
That's why I always tell people don't water first and then fertilize. Use your fertilizer in your water when you first water everything.
why is that? So it
Goes
absorbs
back
the
to,
most?
yeah, because how much more water can you fit into a saturated sponge?
Because I was told
Because
the other
that-
way. See, everybody
the
says
velamin-
something. Everybody but see, that makes sense.
Yeah, the velamin is like a sponge, and so when you water it, that velamin's already soaked up all that water, and then when you're spraying fertilizer on your plants, it's basically just running off, and you're throwing your money away.
That makes sense, because I was told, no, the plant is smart enough. It'll pick up what it needs, even though you wet it. Because I was told that you wet it first so it doesn't burn the roots. But honestly,
you're not
I've
gonna
never
burn the
burned
roots.
roots with
That's-
fertilizer.
The only way you're gonna burn the roots is if you're putting too much fertilizer in your water when you go to fertilize.
Which
And
I
that's
don't.
why some people say, water first and then, but even people say, oh, well, it's because of osmosis. Well, osmosis only happens when you have a body of water. The roots are not soaking in a body of water.
right.
So there's no way osmosis can happen.
Now, how do you feel when let's say you go to one of these international shows where there's billions of orchids everywhere, and you buy one and you bring it home? Some people, well, in my case, you buy several.
In my case.
But for those people with discipline, one or two, and they take it home and they get a bucket and they mix the what do you call it, the fungicide, and they put it in. They let it soak, so that way, if it does have anything, it doesn't transfer to the other plants. I thought that was a great idea. I've never done it.
Yeah.
I just keep my orchids kind of separate, and then I kind of slowly introduce them to the rest of the orchids.
I keep them separate. I recommend keeping them separate. One for any kind of fungal, bacterial issues. Two for insect issues. So you want to keep them separate. Go ahead and spray them and let them kind of soak up all the, get accustomed to the systemic. And then once you've inspected them really good, after a couple weeks, you can introduce them to the rest of the pack.
What I used to do, and then I stopped doing it, and I should do that again, because it really worked well. If I knew there was a big show, like let's say the Redland show or the Miami show, those international shows, I know I'm going to come back with a lot. So what I do is I time my fungicide spraying. I time it out to where I know that I have to do it like on a Monday. So that weekend of the show, when I buy my new stuff, I bring it in and then I spray the new stuff with my other plants, and then everything is sprayed and I don't have to worry about any of that. And then I spray with fungicide the following day. I used to do that and I never had a problem. Yeah. And now I've gotten a little lazy.
The one thing I should say though is if you're soaking your plants, if you buy 5 plants, don't use all of them in the same water. Because
right.
That's when you're gonna,
I never do that.
That's when you're gonna spread
That's a good,
insects,
'cause people do that.
fungicides from plant to plant.
Yes.
Also virus. So, even if you have to just buy smaller buckets from the dollar store or whatever to soak them individually, do it that way.
And the tools as well, because a lot of people I did in the beginning. I would cut with the same tool, not knowing that, you're cutting this and then you're transferring to that.
No, you want to sterilize between different plants.
Butane, right? That butane lighter.
The butane torch.
The butane torch is very important, because I got the butane lighter and you're like, that's not going to cut it.
Or you can just use disposable, individually wrapped razors.
Right,
For
which
your
is
cutting.
what you use.
Yeah.
I like the torch because it's quick, but then I didn't know how much time. And you had told me use a butane torch, so I kind of like welded my.
You put it on there
I'm
way
like,
too long.
I know I'm gonna kill them all. And then I was
Forging
like,
the
wait a
fire.
minute, I think I just welded my. Oh my god, that was so funny. But
Yeah.
anyway, okay, I think we're good with fertilizer, right? We pretty much
We're good
covered.
with
And
fertilizer.
guys,
And we've talked about.
I have videos
We have
of
another
that.
live.
Yeah, we have lives on all that.
With all of the fungicide, insecticide, fertilizer.
Because this is an
Also.
hour show, and I want to like fit everything because I want to talk about what your new endeavors are.
Yep.
While I get another drinky. By the way, guys, I'm not sponsored by this, but I'll tell you, this is delicious. It's called chelada, and I like spicy hot sauce, as most of you know. It's called picosa. Look at that. And this one is orange flavored. They have, which one do you have? Lime?
Yep.
And
Lime
it's
and
got
salt.
lemon, limon, lime.
Lime.
Yeah, in Spanish, limon is lime. And they have mango and they have pineapple. I love the pineapple one. It's very refreshing. And it has a stronger kick. Like it has more picante in it. This is called naranja picosa, which is sort of, spicy. But Nelson, you are too funny with the torch. When I did it, I was like, this is not working.
It's not opening. Good. And the best thing you can do, go to the dollar store in spring, and they sell the snips, and so you can use them for a month, and so
That's
they
true.
don't get. So then you can just throw them away after a month because they'll get crusty and rusty. Because I tend to torch, and then I mist it with water to cool it down, so that way I'm not flailing around with.
It's true.
Hot stuff.
And burning yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Because I have done that before.
So I'm gonna leave Josh for 2 seconds to get my beer, and he's gonna explain something really cool that I'm excited. I already told him that I want the first of.
Hey, Emerson.
From Brazil. What part of
Brazil.
Brazil are you from?
Nice. Leave a comment. So
Jeez, how do you say what part of Brazil in Portuguese? Lewis. Oh, he has his headphones on.
Oh, goodness. Thanks, Newman. So I've been working on some new products, guys. If you're familiar with some of my stuff, I slip cast, I hand build, I throw on a wheel for all my pottery, my ceramics, my mounts as well. And so I have been designing some new stuff while I was in Brazil last month and this month. And these will be my new cafecito cups. Of course, this is just a prototype. I printed this out just for size using my 3D printer. And the way I've been doing my 3D molds for slip casting is I will design it in a 3D system, and then I will print this out. And then, so that'll be the size.
Wait, you're shaking the table. Get your hands off the table.
And this
We'll
is
get
the
this right
bottom.
someday.
And so then what I do, and this is why sometimes stuff is more expensive to make because it's custom, but then everybody doesn't know the whole process,
Right. Which I
And
told
so
you to do a video about
From
that.
here, I will box it off and pour silicone around it. And then from that silicone piece, I can make plaster molds because these are just the plastic pieces. And then I can make and then I will pour liquid clay or slip inside, let it sit for an amount of time, and then I will be able to pull a ceramic cup, let it dry, stick a handle on it, and make really nice cafecito cups and do some really cool glazing techniques. That's what I'm really excited about.
I know how much he's gonna do. Actually, let me grab some of for those that haven't seen your stuff.
And so I'm working towards slip casting my branch mounts also. And this version 2 will actually be able to hold water on the inside like a chia head. So it'll soak water from the inside out.
These are this is a signature logo. I love this mug. This is my every morning mug.
That's the same mug that I use every morning.
These are called what?
Tumblers.
Tumblers.
Because it's a tumbler with a little dimple for your thumb. I'm going to be making some more of these also.
And he puts his logo on the bottom.
Yep.
Because he's fancy.
All fancy.
Yeah, I love these. I
Yeah.
have them right there, like on display. They're like my art pieces.
I've got an oil diffuser also
Oh, those are nice. We have.
that I will be trying to make with translucent porcelain. So when you put the candle in, it actually
lights up.
shines through, and it has so this part, the flower will be thinner than the edge, and so then you'll be able to have a lot of light shining through the translucent porcelain, and then you can use it for your Scentsy oils or your waxes, and put it in the bathroom, put it in the kitchen, you know.
I
whatever.
like it.
I think that'll be cool.
Sign
too.
me up.
Yeah. So I'm working on some new products. I've got lots of new content from Brazil. I think about for 4 or 5 different videos that will be pretty long, showing you and taking you around to different growing spaces, different gardens, and stuff like that.
You're going to do this on video, on Facebook, or what are you going to do this on?
It'll be on my YouTube channel.
So you're going to put it on. Why haven't you done anything else on your YouTube channel? Because this is what you're doing?
I haven't had time. I'll be making more content for how to mount on how to use my lily pads, how to use my branch mounts, and some other, like, how do I get a Vanda into one of my thimble pots that I make for the Vandas as well. So, and doing some different
I'm looking
stuff
forward to that.
with my, the Neopots are really popular now. So those really blew.
Those are the ones that have, you don't have a picture of it, do you? Yep. Those are the ones that I like, that look almost like they have this transition of tone.
Those are the ones for the Neo. I originally made them for the
Neo Phoenicias.
That's
the one that I have, but I have a black one, right?
Yes.
Okay. They're beautiful. I wish I.
You have the
when
one
we're
with
in
the
the
koi fish.
we're in the nursery. When we're in the greenhouse, I can grab things. Great idea with the oil diffuser.
Yeah, you have that one.
Yes, I love that one. Show it.
I'm trying to find. There it is. So
that's pretty.
This is my Neo pots, and so I'm going to be doing some really cool stuff with those, different carving techniques and glazing techniques with those, and then I also have a different mold that I'm making for a different style of Neopot. And
really, have I seen it? Oh, that's mine.
Yeah, that's the one he has in his growing space.
Which, by the way, my Neo Phoenicia, I think I bought it from Smiley. It's doing really nice in there. It's giving me another, like, it has another little baby coming out. So it's doing very. I went to see somebody's beautiful. Newman loves it.
Yep. So I'm having fun. I'm trying to design new products, but products that in the long term I can make lots of
mass
produce. So then I can.
Yeah, because right now you do everything by hand. So that's why people need. I always tell you, do a video on how you do, so people can see the work behind it. Because if you buy this, you don't know what went behind this. You know, you have no idea all the work that went behind that, and like how you use the different kinds of clays and all that stuff. But anyway, so let's do Q&A. We have about 10 minutes or less. So if you guys want to ask some questions, keep them a little bit brief and short, because that way it gives opportunities for others to ask as well. So ask away. I hope you have some at OFI tomorrow. Do you have any of those at OFI's?
Which
ones? Neo Phoenicia pots?
I have Neopots at OFI, yes. I have Neopots, I have my regular classic pots, I have some of the gradient pots, the thimble pots for Vandas or Pinulus dendrobiums.
By the way,
I have my terracotta pots and my glazed pots.
Oh, it's buffering? Sorry, Debbie. I think our channel is drinking with us.
I'm buffering.
We're all buffering. So anyways, do you want to say, do you know the address to OFI's? I never say the address, you know, because I always put the little thing up. But since we're doing live, I want to give you guys the address, because some of you are not from this era. So anyways, tomorrow, Saturday, which is what, the 24th? 24th, 25th, 26th. What is it? I'm lost in the days. This week has been crazy. It's been pouring rain here. Like, not just like rain, like,
Tomorrow's the 29th.
29th?
And
So
the
the
30th.
29th and the 30th at Ophi's Orchids and Supply, they're having a wonderful fair. How many tents? Like 10? I think I counted like 10 on the thing.
Yeah, but I think there's another add-on too. So
Okay.
over 10.
Over 10?
10 vendors.
So that's a good one. So I may be there tomorrow after 12 o'clock because I'm going to leave early from work because Sunday is my partner's birthday and I'm not going to be out there doing any filming. So.
Yep. And the address is 17899 Southwest 280th Street here in Homestead. Zip code is 33031. So come by. There's lots of plants there.
Hold on. I didn't want to lose this because we are doing Q&A. So, why does it do that? I'm going to call YouTube. Blue Jay. Hi, Blue Jay. I like the natural way of the pest idea. Just can't help but think of love bugs. Yeah. We haven't had those this year. Do you
Yes, fertilize your bulbophyllums.
Absolutely.
Now, if they're in sphagnum moss, don't fertilize them as much because sphagnum moss really retains a lot of fertilizer, and then you're going to get leaf tip burn and other issues. But definitely,
I've been
a
using
fertilizer.
in my bubble films. I've been using a lot of like clay beads, and I've been using charcoal and lava because I do feed every week.
Yeah.
Lightly, but I do. And I think that that's what's turned my bubble films around to like bloom even more because I never really fertilized bubble films that much.
Yeah.
I used to only do Vandas and Cattleyas. I thought, okay, these are the ones I really wanted. And then I think it was Julian at Carl Smith, which, by the way, do I know something? Have either of you used Pageant fungus?
Pageant. No, I haven't used Pageant.
What is it like? Are they all dolled up before you spray? I've never heard of that. Question fertilizer instructions, please. I have the seaweed fertilizer. Fertilizer instructions. I don't understand.
Which seaweed fertilizer?
I use 1 ounce to a gallon when I spray it. That's it. A gallon of water, 1 ounce of the seaweed, and I just spray it all over.
And you can't use too much seaweed. You're not going to burn your roots. You're not going to burn your plants.
It's
so
super natural.
I always say, a tablespoon per gallon.
Absolutely.
That's kind of like the go-to.
Somebody's asking lower ratio for less. Say hi, Tiago. Tiago, you have fans. My viewers love Tiago. He's my little monkey. Yes. If you use slower ratio, you'll definitely avoid burning roots. The higher the ratio, some people out there, when I started, I didn't know how much, I would follow the instructions and I would burn the roots. I would see it burning. But if you do like a light mix, you're not going to burn it. You'll be fine. You could do it every week and it's not going to burn.
Yeah. 1 teaspoon per gallon for regular fertilizer.
Right. For regular fertilizer.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give too much information because I haven't been given the go-ahead. Perfect. Thank you. I haven't been given the go-ahead, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this. But Carl Smith is working on a magnificent project that's going to blow people's minds. And Julian sent me a picture today, and I got to tell you, I could not believe it. I'm like, this is going to be so much fun. And they told me that as soon as it's done, they're going to call me. So I'm going to go over there for 1 day. I'm going to do a whole episode, record it. So you guys will be probably the first people to see it, hopefully. So you're probably wondering, what is it?
I think I know what you're talking about.
You probably know what I'm talking about. Because the other vendors and people that are, close to Carl Smith, they kind of know what's going on. But it's
a pretty big deal.
It's a big deal. And let's just say that Frank Smith just took the orchid world to a whole other level. Because this is going to be...
Caroline.
This is going to be a lot of fun to visit when they do their fairs. And Josh, you still owe me 2 thimbles. Oh, somebody's claiming something. Teresita, she's gangster. Be careful. Don't mess with her. She'll get ya. So this is something I've been wanting to talk to you guys about, but since they're still in the preliminaries and the whole construction and all that, I don't really want to start talking about something I don't know. But yesterday Julian reached out to me and sent me some information, and I didn't realize how far ahead they are. So I think that this year, before their open house that they do in November, I think they're going to be ready. So before that, I will travel over there and I will bring it to you guys. But as we get closer, I will kind of give out a little more information.
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
130 in Zimbabwe.
Wow, thank you for staying up.
Crazy.
You guys have great orchids over there. Like orchids in Africa, most of them are white. But I just got one from not Malawi. I think it's from Zimbabwe. It's the one I just got at Soto. I can't remember the name, but it's from a part of Africa, and it shoots the most beautiful flowers. I'll show it to you. It's still blooming. We'll go back there. You're gonna like it. It's in a Grecum.
Okay.
But
all I can think of is the Ancelia africana.
No, this is an Ingrecum that looks like a Vanda. But then the flowers come out and they look like these little birds, these white pigeons. It's amazing. From South Africa. That's one of my bucket lists. I have two clients of mine that they just retired, but they were, one of them was the CEO to South Africa Airlines. And twice I was invited to go and I didn't get to go. From
Afro
Lawrence
Orchids.
at Afro Orchids, yes. Yeah, I love Afro Orchids. That's where I get most of my African minis. I get them all from them. So what else, guys? We have no minutes. We're at the hour. I think we're done. Yay, we did an hour successfully.
Rashid laughing at us.
Sometimes I wonder, how can we fit all this information in 1 hour? You know,
It goes by so fast.
but it goes by really fast. And poor Louis, I have my partner sitting in the sofa. He's like quiet with his headphones on, watching TV, because we never do this inside. I wanted to close up with my little monkey. I had him here a little while ago. Some people were
He's
asking.
in the other room.
Oh,
over there.
never mind. Okay, little monkey, you miss out.
He's cute.
He is. He's
very
adorable, and he's so spoiled. Anyways, I showed him yesterday. So, anyways, guys, this program, as I said, has been. Thank you for providing really great info and telling us a few things about Josh's new endeavors. You are very welcome, and I'm glad that you guys found it interesting enough to stick around. I mean, we still have 83. You know, sometimes it goes a little bit down, but no, today it stayed pretty high. Who said hi? See, now I can relax because we got all the information out. Sometimes from New York, how's the Big Apple doing? Are you guys having like really bad heat waves? Because I know New York, man. I was there one July and I almost passed out. It was so freaking hot. You're welcome. We tried to put together, like, this was, when did we plan this?
Yesterday?
Yesterday.
Evening?
We have been talking about it. You want to say hi, kitties?
Hi.
I talked to him yesterday and I was like, what are we going to talk about? We talked about maybe doing a live, maybe not. Like, we hadn't done it in a while. And so I reached out to him and I said, listen, we need to do one, like about a month ago. And I said, it's been a while. Are you coming to OFI? So he said, yeah. So yesterday we said, okay, let's see. And I totally forgot that I was researching about these things. And I said, you know what? This is a perfect thing I can talk about. And then you talked about, I want to talk about spraying and how much. And I said, you know what? This is going to work out perfect. Grab him. He's like a bullet. He's like a little, here he goes. Come here, Papa. Come here.
Oh my goodness.
So we're going to close the show with my little Jackson. Thank you, Terry. I'm glad that it looked good. I hope that everyone else, they didn't have any problems with the speed or the visuals. I'll look.
And it was a lot cooler in here.
And I get to play with the kitties. So anyways, guys, thank you for sticking by. Remember to please subscribe if you haven't done so. Hit the like button. That helps. Believe it or not, when you guys hit that like button, there's 80 people and only 43. Half of you have not hit that like button. But when you do hit that like button, what happens is the algorithms move up. And so my videos, you can see them more. And therefore, I get more compensation. It helps me grow this channel more. I get a bigger budget to do bigger things. And it doesn't cost you anything. Just go. That's it. Just think that when you do this, you just helped my channel. It was fun, thanks. I'm glad you have fun. And that's one of my main things. We have to have fun because this is happy hour.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be so constrained.
Well, we're gonna have fun.
Well,
regardless. We just like everybody else to join in.
It's like if it was a 2-hour show, we'd really be having fun. We'd be like by 4 or 5 of these.
Yeah.
So, anyways, guys, thank you for sticking by this hour and 4 minutes. I hope you guys took a lot of things that you can learn from and that you can use and apply in your own collection and help your garden grow better and better every day, because like I said, we all grow together.
And also, if you're watching this after the live, you can always leave a comment below. We're always
Exactly.
checking back.
Exactly. I look at all my comments. I'm really good about that. Sometimes it takes me a while, but I pretty much answer almost everyone, even if it's just an emoji to let you know that ooh, my cat just did a cartwheel. I thought you even said to let you know that I acknowledge your comment, because I always feel that when people take the time to leave a comment, the least I can do is acknowledge it, right? Even if I'm busy. So I try the best I can. So thank you everyone for your comments, for your requests, for your critiques, for all of that. And I will see you at Ophi's tomorrow. Tomorrow. So I'll probably be loading this up either to the Ophi's tomorrow night or possibly Sunday. It all depends. Sunday. Most likely Sunday. Who's saying hello?
Oi, meu amor. Raquel.
Raquel, how are you? Boa noite. Well, I don't know, where is she?
Boa noite.
Is boa noite? Okay. I don't know if it's nighttime over there. Boa tarde.
Oh, yeah. Sun goes down at like 5 o'clock
Bom
there.
dia.
5 o'clock.
It's true. So anyways, guys, thank you for sticking by. I am Nelson.
I'm Josh from the Orchid Den.
You've been watching Nate Chanel, and remember to always
Keep it green.
keep it green. See you next time.
Cheers.
Oh, I can't see now.